Greetings, here is Fred, your friendly neighborhood streamer slash content creator publishing content in broken English here on YouTube, and today we are here to start a new adventure in Age of Wonders 4. The run I will start today is going to be a tribute to the Hungarian people and culture, and if you're asking yourself why, well, there are mainly two reasons that motivated me to move into this direction. First, the Hungarian history is quite unique. It's a complex and fascinating subject that was studied through a variety of disciplines such as linguistics, archaeology, even genetics, so it's quite difficult not to find it interesting. Also, and this is more a personal note, I lived in Hungary for a few years and grew quite fond of its people and culture. So let's leave aside all the negative publicity that Hungarians receive nowadays and welcome to this fantastic journey. Before we start, let me give you a little bit of context. The Hungarian people originally come from the Ural region and migrated to the Carpathian Basin at the end of the 9th century, in the region that under the Roman Empire was called Pannonia. According to the chronicles, Almos, father of Arpad, was the first head of the Federation of Hungarian tribes that moved in the Carpathian Basin. And this is the character that I will pick for this run, so we will clearly have a diplomatic focus. Included Almos, a total of 7 leaders joined the Federation. We can then imagine that this run takes place before the Federation is formed, during a time when Almos and the 6 other chieftains were still striving to establish themselves as the Federation leader. I will then try to make Almos prevail, if possible diplomatically, as this will be the most historically accurate outcome. And of course I will try to be as historically accurate as possible, but please keep in mind that there is limited historical information available about the 7 chieftains of the Magyars. There is not even a final agreement on who the 7 chieftains were, but according to the Gesta Hungarorum, apart from Almos, the list should include also Elod, Ond, Kond, also known as Kend or Kund, Tas, Uba, and Tohotom, also known as Teteni. And of course, as Age of Wonders is not historical but set in a fantasy setting, we will also refer to the Hungarian mythology to have a full Hungarian immersion. Without further ado, let's go straight into a new game, because I want to tell you a little bit more about the realm that I have already created and also about the characters that will populate this fantastic world.
Choose your destination.
Starting from the destination, we have a custom realm, Ural steppes, and the following are the characteristics that I have picked. So of course we have continents because I wanted to limit the amount of water in the map, and of course we also have endless fields, as in the end this is what I believe it represents best, the kind of environment of the steppes. Then we also have wildlands, and the reason why wild animals are common in this realm is because this is a typical trait of the Hungarian mythology. The Hungarian mythology is literally full of this kind of big beasts, big animals, wild animals. Like for example Turul, which is the first that comes to mind, is basically a big eagle, a big falcon, and it's a recurring actor in the Hungarian mythology, as well as other animals, like for example the stag and many others. So I think that wildlands really fit very well the Hungarian mythology, so that's absolutely the right choice. I was a little bit skeptic about no free city because actually in Age of Wonders 4 free cities are really like playing a fundamental role. But on the other hand, if we want to try to keep it kind of accurate for the story that we are going to tell, then there should be no free cities, because back then in the steppes there were only small settlements and there were no actual free cities, so this will be the most accurate option. And also we have small underground. If we will have thought of this story as something that was already set in Pannonia, so after the migration, then I would have taken the big, large underground, because Hungary is actually one of the countries in Europe with the largest caves. But that's not the case for the steppes, and as I said, ideally this run that we are starting today, it's before the migration in Hungary, so that's why I picked here small underground instead. And then I have picked gigantism. I'm quite scared about this one because gigantism make the marauder units quite big and powerful. Yeah, it's just to add some challenge to a run that I believe it will be already quite challenging for me. So okay, we can select then the Ural steps, and then maybe we can go to the advanced settings. We have a player distance standard, so we will have a mid-size map. Player 7, because 7 is the number of chieftains. Turn system, we can leave it on classic, the rest is fine, and then we can move to factions. The difficulty of this run, I will leave it on normal, because just for your information, yes, I have played a little bit of Age of Wonders 3. I definitely played more Planetfall, but I still consider myself kind of a newbie in the Age of Wonders series. I am not an expert, I will make a lot of mistakes, I'm not going to play in an optimal way, so that you know it, the expectations are clear. Probably I will struggle already with normal difficulty, to be honest. I'm not like those guys who are like, yeah, guy, the game is just out and I'm going to destroy everyone on brutal difficulty because I have already 6,000 hours in this game. That's not my case. I just bought it on day one, and basically I spent on it only 2 hours before starting this run. This will be my very first run in the game. So even if it will end up poorly, who cares? It's just for fun. Let's focus now on the character selection. I have already created the characters, and maybe we can start from Almos, who is in the end the one that we will pick. Based on what I have discovered, Almos was mainly melee oriented and definitely with a clear diplomatic attitude. That's why he became the leader of the Federation. So I think that strong ferocious is good for the melee orientation. Feudal, of course, it makes sense. Chosen uniters as well for the diplomatic attitude. Maybe the next one that we can pick is Elod. Quick reflexes and fast initiatives, because he is sometimes depicted as a more impulsive and hot-headed leader. So I thought that this kind of traits will have in some way reflected the fact that yes, he is a little bit impulsive. For the next one, maybe we can move to Ond. As you can see, I gave him a build that is kind of like a dwarf build, because as you can see is very industrious and defensive oriented. But the reason for that is because based on the information that I have found online, he was actually known to be a resourceful strategist. And so I thought that this kind of configuration would have been the most appropriate for him. Maybe for the next one we can pick Tas Casey. It's another human, keen-sighted and ferocious and barbarian and fable hunters. Yeah, why all of this? Because basically Tas has the reputation of being a good archer, so I thought that it was very good for example, an hunter, and also that he would have been a good warrior with, let's say, associated to archery. So that's why I picked, for example, keen-sighted. Then for the next one, we can select Huba, for example. Huba is also human, fast recuperation, adaptable, feudal, chosen uniters as well, and imperialist. The reason why I went for this kind of configuration is because similarly to our Almos, Huba has also the reputation of being a skilled diplomat. And so I want him to be able to forge alliance and to be maybe the main contenders for the unification, for a diplomatic unification. For the next character, maybe we can move to Kond from the Yeno tribe. And here actually about Kond we do not have many information. And that's why I went for this kind of standard setting, like a little bit of order, a little bit of nature affinity, yeah, and also is a fable hunter, which makes sense for those kind of people from the steppes. Last but not least, we have Tohotom, and as you can see, Tohotom of this list is the only one that is not really a human. I mean, the race is human, but Tohotom himself is a wizard king, and when you pick the wizard king, you have the possibility of selecting a different race for the leader. He is the one that actually has the reputation of being some kind of shaman or mystic with supernatural powers. Yeah, and as you can see also the traits I picked, resistant, arcane focus, I mean, it all makes sense. It's kind of aligned to this kind of darker, mana-oriented character. That's all for the selection of the faction. I could also make teams and make them all assigned to a separate team, which basically means that then everyone will be at war with all the other rulers. But leaving aside that this will be maybe a little bit too challenging for me, even on normal difficulty. But also I don't want to do that because, as I said, I want to give the possibility to Almos to maybe achieve a victory through diplomacy rather than through conquest, so to say. Victory condition, I will leave them also as they are. Combat as well, I think I will change nothing. So we can just confirm and start this incredible adventure. Starting magic, we have Call to Glory. And then we also have the possibility of summon a Zealot. This is not a very strong unit, but still better than nothing. Honestly, I don't like the name of the city. I will have to change it later on, but I am not sure what could be a good name for a city in the middle of the steppes. I will have to make some research, but for the moment I'm going to leave it as it is. And the situation right now is already not very promising, because I can already see that there is here this enormous creature. So I think I'm going to start cleaning a little bit the area, but first what we can do is to move the scout around to discover a little bit what's nearby. And here, for example, I can see that there is another army of Marauder guarding this stash of knowledge. So okay, we cannot go there. What's here? Maybe there is something else here. Food stash. I have to see if it's actually guarded or not. But okay, what I can do in the meantime with our Almos, I could immediately attack this Marauder guard. I'm a little bit scared because we are not too strong, to be honest. I don't know. Let's first set the Arcane Research. I'm definitely not interested in the scout unit at this point, and maybe also hold the line is not the priority for me right now. I think I will go for this unit enchantment, which I could apply to a number of units. So let's go for this. And also we need to set the production in the city. I will probably go for the storehouse. And we can also expand our city already, and probably I will start from this new province where we can build a farm. And here there is another lovely creature next to the pasture. What we can do is maybe attacking immediately this NPC army next to our city, just to clear the area. Low risk battle, but as you can see there is still not a lot of difference between the two armies. Let's go in manual combat. I'm exposing immediately our hero, but let's do it. I will end the turn. Let's use the bannerman to give health back to our archers. And we can use the pole arm to attack the spiders over there. Small damage. We finish here the piglets. Very good. And then we can end the turn. And now the polearm are a little bit in difficulty. Okay, and we finished them off with Almos, who was also flanking them. Here we can use then our defenders to get rid of the eagles that remain here. And then, yeah, I think we should be able to end easily this little conflict. Also with the help of the archers, very good. We had no losses and we destroyed this marauder guard that was on our territory. In this way we also gained some experience, but we didn't level up yet, so we'll have to see. And here we have underground passage, so okay, we will try with the scout to reach the underground to explore a little bit there and see if there is any low-hanging fruit. For the moment, let's keep exploring a little bit with Almos. Let's go and explore the underground passage instead. Doesn't get better. Actually, there is here a small monster den. This is an infestation that we should clear as well. 230 of power. We might do it, but not now, but it's good to know. Then we can keep exploring, and here we have, for example, a watchtower that will give us visibility on a larger part of the territory, so maybe we can go there. It's not guarded. Okay, and there is another infestation that we discover here with this Pirate Cove. An evil presence lingers in these lands. Yes, this is referring to what we found in the underground. We will get rid of that, but for the moment let's end the turn. And we have already our first encounter for today. Kond from the tribe of Yeno. I was honestly hoping that this will have happened later on, but apparently they already spotted us. How do you want to greet Chieftain Kond? I will send a welcome gift with 50 units of gold. And I could also use already the 100 units of gold to declare a friendship, because we have, in theory, good relation so far. They have a similar inclination, they have order and nature as well, or maybe not yet. For the moment we do not do it. We save the gold because we do not know who else we might meet in the near future, so let's see. There is still some gap between us and them, and yeah, we could ideally form an alliance. Here there is also some water. Actually I made a big mistake, because I think I should have selected land rather than continent. That's why we are seeing all this water, but it's fine now, it's too late to change this. In all of this we could expand our city again, and this time maybe I would like to go for some... I think a forester will be good, because it will give us food and also production. Let's do it. In this way I also move a little bit towards Kond. And then let's see, we have already skills available in the tree. Order Empire skill, destroying an infestation or conquering a free city grants a stacking of plus 300 relation to all other free cities for 10 turns. Honestly, we don't really need this, because as you know, there are no free cities in this run. So we might still clear the infestations because we don't want to be bothered, but we will not do it for the potential boost of diplomacy, because anyway there are no free cities that we can impress with this action. I think that for this very first episode we can hand it here. It was quite long because this episode needed a very long introduction, but we can see in the next one how things will develop. I hope to see you there as always, and if this will be the case, guys, see you in the next video. Cheers.